Kathy have been married only 2 months. Unfortunately, Bob is an authoritarian husband. Every day he tells Kathy, "Cook my food! Clean this house! Serve me, woman!" Bob feels he is entitled to be served like a king by his wife. Kathy is very sweet. She's a very sensitive person, and she emotes strongly. She always shows her true feelings. Kathy had a strict upbringing. Her mom told her to always obey her husband. Since she has strong moral fiber, Kathy tries to do what her mom taught. But every day she becomes more sad because of Bob. Finally, she has had enough. She yells at Bob with righteous indignation. "Shut up, you pig! I want a divorce!" Bob is so shocked, he has a heart attack and dies. But after he is dead, nobody mourns. Kathy takes his life insurance money and now is very happy. The end. Okay, let's start back to the beginning. All right, Bob is a newlywed. Has Bob been married for a long time?
No, Bob had not married for a long time. Bob had been married recently, had been married only 2 months ago. Bob is a newlywed.
Well, no, he has not. He is a newlywed. Has his wife been married for a long time?
No, his wife Kathy also is a newlywed. He and his wife Kathy had been married for 2 months ago.
Well, of course not. They both got married at the same time. Not a long time. They are both newlyweds. They've been married a short time. How long have they been married?
Well, they have been married for only 2 months. They have been married only 2 months.
Well, they've been married only 2 months. So they are newlyweds because they have been married less than 1 year. So Bob is a newlywed, and of course Kathy is a newlywed. They are both newlyweds, using it as a noun. Unfortunately, Bob is an authoritarian husband. Is Bob a tolerant husband?
Yes, he is. Bob is an authoritarian husband.
No. He's not tolerant. He doesn't care about his wife's opinions or other people's opinions. Is Bob a flexible husband?
No.
No, he's not
Doesn't.
flexible. He won't change at all. Is Bob a tough boss? Is he that kind of husband?
Yes.
Yes, that's right. He's an authoritarian husband. Is Bob like a dictator? Yes, that's right. Bob is an authoritarian husband. He's like a dictator. He's like a strong ruler over his wife. Bob is an authoritarian husband. Is Bob an authoritarian father?
No, he doesn't. He doesn't have any children.
Well, no, he's not an authoritarian father because they have no children. Bob is an authoritarian husband. He's an authoritarian husband. Is Kathy an authoritarian wife?
No, Kathy.
Well, no, Kathy's not an authoritarian
not.
wife. The opposite, actually.
An
Bob, however, is an authoritarian husband. And every day he tells Kathy, "Cook my food! Clean this house! Serve me, woman!" Bob feels he is entitled to be served like a king by his wife. We're using entitled here as a verb, actually. Entitlement is the noun, but to be entitled or can be used as a verb or an adjective. So Bob feels he is entitled. I am entitled to be served like a king. So, in this case, it's not a noun. Bob feels he is entitled. It means he feels he has the power. He should have the power to be served by his wife. Does he feel he is entitled to be served by strangers?
No, he doesn't feel he's entitled to be served by a stranger.
No, he doesn't feel like he's entitled to be served by strangers. Does he feel he is entitled to be served by his own mother?
No, Bob doesn't feel he's entitled to be served by his own mother.
Well, I don't know, maybe, but maybe not. We're not sure, really. Does he feel he is entitled to be served by his wife?
Yes, he does. He feels he's entitled to be served by his wife, by Kathy.
Well, yes, absolutely. He feels he is entitled to be served by his wife. Does Kathy feel she is entitled to be served by Bob?
No, Kathy doesn't feel she is entitled to be served by his husband, by Bob. No, she doesn't feel like that.
No. Kathy does not feel she's entitled to be served by Bob. It's the opposite. Bob feels he is entitled, he has the power, he should have the power to be served by his wife, Kathy. And Kathy, however, is a very sweet wife. She's very sensitive, and she emotes strongly. Does Kathy show her emotions?
Yes, she does. She always shows her true feelings.
Well, that's right. Yes, she emotes strongly.
She
Does
emotes
she express
strongly.
her feelings? Yes,
Express
she does. She
her
emotes
feelings.
strongly. She shows her feelings a lot. Does she emote only anger?
No, she doesn't.
No. That's not
She
true.
does not emote only anger.
She doesn't emote only anger. She emotes all her emotions. She shows all her emotions. She
She
expresses
shows
all
all
her
her
emotions. She emotes
emotions.
strongly, and she emotes everything. She shows all her emotions. So Kathy is sensitive and she emotes strongly. She always shows her true feelings. Kathy had a strict upbringing, however. Her mom told her to always obey her husband. Was Kathy's upbringing relaxed?
No, Kathy doesn't upbringing relax. Kathy has a strict upbringing.
No. Her parents were not relaxed.
Kathy had
She
a
had a
strict
strict, a
upbringing.
very tough upbringing. Was Kathy's upbringing conservative? Very conservative.
Yes.
Yeah. I think you would describe that as conservative. Her mom was very old-fashioned, very conservative. She had a strict upbringing. Kathy had a strict upbringing. Did Bob have a strict upbringing?
No, Bob doesn't have a strict upbringing. Had not. Bob had not a strict upbringing.
Well, no, not really. Bob was spoiled when he was a child. His parents gave him everything. They served him. They let him do anything he wanted. So he was kind of a spoiled brat. But Kathy, however, had a very tough upbringing, a very strict upbringing. Because her mom told her, always obey your parents. Always obey your future husband. The good thing about Kathy is she has strong moral fiber. She always tries to do what is right, what is correct, what her mom taught her to do. Does Kathy have strong moral fiber?
Yes, she does. She has strong moral fiber. Moral
Well, yes,
fiber.
she does, of course. She has strong moral fiber. Does Kathy try to do what is right?
Yes. Kathy tries to do what's right.
Yes, she does. She has strong moral fiber. She tries to do what is right.
What is
Would
right?
Kathy steal money from someone?
No, Kathy has strong moral fiber. She doesn't steal money from someone.
No, of course not. Kathy has strong moral fiber. She would never steal from another person.
From another
Would Kathy
person.
try to kill another person?
No, she has strong
No.
moral fiber. She doesn't. She never try to kill someone.
No, Kathy has strong moral fiber. She would never try to kill or hurt someone else. She has strong moral fiber. Why does Kathy obey Bob?
Well, Kathy has strong moral fiber, and her mom teaching her like that. Kathy tries to follow her teaching, her mom teaching.
Well, because her mom told her she should, Kathy thinks she must have strong moral fiber and therefore must obey Bob. But finally, she changes her mind, right? Finally, she yells at him because she is sad every day because of Bob. So finally, she yells at him with righteous indignation. Does she talk to him quietly?
No, Kathy doesn't talk to him quietly. She yells at him. She yells at Bob with righteous indignation. Shut up, you pig. I want a divorce.
Well, no, she yells, of course. Does she yell with a lot of anger?
Yes, she does. She yells at Bob with righteous indignation. Shut up, you pig. I want a divorce.
Yes, that's right, she does. She's very angry when she yells. She's indignant. She has indignation. She yells at him with indignation, with anger. What kind of anger? Is
Righteous
it anger
indignation.
from
Indignation.
being hurt? Not exactly. No. It's righteous indignation. She feels Bob is wrong and she is right. Bob is doing bad things, and Kathy is a good person, so she feels righteous indignation. She has righteous indignation. She yells at him with righteous indignation. When she yells with righteous indignation, what does she say?
Well, she yells at Bob with righteous indignation. Shut up, you pig. I want a divorce.
Well, she says, "Shut up, you pig! I want a divorce!" Is Bob surprised by Kathy's righteous indignation?
Yes, Bob is
Yes,
really
he is.
surprised.
He's very surprised by her
Very
righteous
surprised.
indignation. So surprised, he has a heart attack.
He has
And then
a
he
heart attack,
dies.
and he dies.
But after Bob is dead, nobody mourns. Does anybody feel sad because Bob is dead?
No, after his death, nobody mourns.
Well, no. Nobody feels sad. Nobody mourns him. Does Kathy mourn him?
No, Kathy doesn't
No,
mourn
Kathy
him
doesn't
either.
mourn him. She doesn't feel sad after he dies. She thinks he's a pig, right? He's been a bad man, so she does not mourn him. She does not cry. She does not wear black. She does not feel really sad. She does not mourn him. Do Bob's friends mourn him?
No, nobody
No,
mourns.
Bob's friends don't mourn him either because he doesn't have any friends. Nobody likes Bob.
Doesn't,
So Bob
doesn't
is
have
not
any
mourned by his
friends.
friends because he doesn't have friends. And Kathy doesn't mourn Bob either. Nobody mourns Bob. Nobody feels sad for Bob
Either.
after he's dead. What happens next? Does Kathy have a good life?
Yes.
Well, as a matter of fact, she does. She gets money from Bob's life insurance, and now she is rich and free and very happy. All right, good job. One more time. This time I'll pause. Please repeat the key phrases after me. Now, don't just repeat. Copy my pronunciation, copy my rhythm, copy my tone, everything. Copy my emotion. Here we go. Bob is a newlywed.
Bob is newlywed.
Good. Bob is a newlywed.
Bob is a newlywed.
Very good. He and his wife, Kathy, have been married only 2 months. Unfortunately, Bob is an authoritarian husband.
Unfortunately, Bob is an authoritarian husband.
Good. Unfortunately, Bob is an authoritarian husband.
Unfortunately, Bob is an authoritarian husband.
Good. Every day he yells at Kathy. He says, "Cook my food, clean this house, serve me, woman." Bob feels he is entitled to be served by his wife.
Bob feels he's entitled to be served by his wife.
Okay, good. A little bit difficult. Bob feels he is entitled to be served by his wife.
Bob feels he is entitled to be served by his
Good.
wife.
Bob feels he is entitled to be served by his wife. Kathy, however, is a very sweet wife. She's very sensitive and she emotes strongly.
Kathy is very sweet. She's a very sensitive person, and she emotes strongly.
Very good. She is very sensitive and she emotes strongly.
She is very sensitive and she emotes strongly.
Good. She is very sensitive and she emotes strongly. She always shows her true feelings. Kathy had a strict upbringing.
Kathy had a strict upbringing.
Good. Kathy had a strict upbringing.
Kathy had a strict upbringing.
Very good. Her mom taught her to always obey her parents and always obey her future husband. Since she has strong moral fiber, Kathy tries to follow her mom's teaching.
Since Kathy has strong moral fiber, Kathy tries to follow her mom's teaching.
Okay, very good. Since she has strong moral fiber, Kathy tries to follow her mom's teaching.
Since Kathy tries to follow her mom's teaching.
Okay, very good. But every day she becomes more sad because of Bob. Finally, she yells at Bob with righteous indignation.
Finally, she yells at Bob with righteous indignation.
Okay, very good. Finally, she yells at Bob with righteous indignation.
Finally, she yells at Bob with righteous indignation.
Okay, great. She yells with righteous indignation, "Shut up, you pig! I want a divorce." Bob is so shocked, he has a heart attack and dies. But after he is dead, nobody mourns. Okay, good. But after he is dead, nobody mourns. Okay, great. But after he is dead, nobody mourns. Kathy takes his life insurance money, and now she is rich and free and very happy.
Bob is a newlywed. He and his wife, Kathy, have been married only 2 months. Unfortunately, Bob is an authoritarian husband. Every day, he tells Kathy, "Cook my food, clean this house, serve me, woman." Bob feels he is entitled to serve by his wife. Kathy is very sweet. She's very sensitive and she emotes strongly. She always shows her true feelings. Kathy had a strict upbringing. Her mom told her to always obey her future husband. Since she has strong moral fiber, Kathy tries to follow her mom's teaching. But every day she becomes more sad about. Finally, she yells at Bob with righteous indignation. "Shut up, you pig! I want a divorce." Bob is so shocked. He has a heart attack and dies. But after he's dead, nobody mourns. Kathy takes his life insurance money, and now she's rich and very happy.